Good morning, Pisces. Did you sleep well last night? Good. Did you dream about anything? Do you want to talk about it? Okay. Oh, that is a very interesting dream. So, just to make sure I heard you correctly, you said that you were standing in your garden where you had been growing lettuce. As you were working the garden, you noticed that you were finding pennies scattered on the ground. You picked them up as you found them. You noticed that you had 7 pennies that were just laying in the soil. Suddenly, the garden began to flood. Just when you thought that there was nowhere for you to go to escape the water, a raft carrying 3 people came to rescue you. In gratitude, you paid the man who was using an oar to steer the raft 6 of the pennies that you found in your garden. The 6 pennies turned into tiny flames and disappeared in his hand. The stick that he was using to navigate the raft became a sword. When you sat down, it suddenly began to rain roses from the sky. You covered your head to protect yourself from the flowers falling from the sky. Suddenly, the 3 people on the boat began to shapeshift in front of your eyes. One burst into butterflies, the second burst into flowers, and the third into a flock of birds. You watched the sword fall into the water. As you sat on the raft alone, suddenly you noticed a strange stirring beneath the water, and a hand reached out and gave you the sword. You saw a man on the distant bank standing next to a horse and watching you. You waved at him and tried to get his attention. He waved back and started on horseback towards your direction. Before he could reach you, the water that the raft was floating on became extremely still and reflective like a mirror. The lights from the coins that you gave the person earlier returned and lit up, beckoning you to walk out onto the reflective, glassy surface. When you stepped out onto the mirror, the hand that gave you the sword back broke through, causing the mirror to break into thousands of tiny pieces. Afraid that you would begin to fall, you tried to grasp for anything around you. That's when wings sprouted from your back, and you carried yourself up like an eagle. As you flew up into the sky, a pair of flaming hands reached out towards you. You stopped in fear. The hands began to drop stars from its palms. You followed the stars with your eyes, and where the stars landed, you saw books pop up from the ground. You flew down, and when you picked up one of the books, you opened it. A fountain of water sprung up from the ground at the spot where you picked up the book. As water burst forth from the fountain, it began to fill up the entire area, flooding it. Afraid that you would be trapped again without a raft, you ripped a page from the book and folded a paper boat. The boat expanded and grew larger until you could fit inside of it. You sat down and set sail out upon the water. Oh wow, Pisces, that was pretty interesting. Do you remember seeing anything else when you woke up? Did anything else come to mind? Oh, okay. Well, have you heard of dreammoods.com? That's a nice place to go for dream interpretation. If you ever have a dream that sounds kind of tricky to figure out. Thanks for sharing that with me. I hope that you have a really good day.